So how do you buy this potentially without mortgages and bridging finance, but you approach the vendor and get them to agree a lease options and vendor finance? So the way you will look at, like, basically, potentially you will say, okay, you will have an agreement, say up to 12 months for you to come in and do all the works and refurbish it, agree in advance the price. Let's assume for this argument that we will still agree a 2.1 million purchase. The way then that it will work is that after the 12 months of work, so 6 months of work, let's say, programs of work, you have it revalued. Remember, we said it's going to revalue at 130,000 per flat on average, 23 flats, £3 million valuation for the block. You then start the refinancing. So your company starts buying these flats from the vendor, and you ask for a 25%, you leave a 25% deposit on each flat. On average for the block, you will be leaving £750,000 as an aggregate. So you will be borrowing £2.25 million from your lenders across the 23 flats as mortgage, interest-only mortgages. You take the 2.25 million, you pay your vendor now, and you pay him off. You buy him completely on the completion date. You give him the money as you remortgage out on these 23 flats. You give them the 2.1. That leaves you a gain of £150,000. So right now you're up at 150,000 after all the 23 has been bought by your company via refinancing. Having said that, you have spent some money to get it to that spec. Remember, you spent 300,000 on refurbished cost, as well as 60,000 on legals and other expenses. So you take the 150,000 you made as a profit, you take away from the 360,000 of cost that you've spent. That leaves you a deficit of 210,000 that it has cost you to get to this position. So what does that mean? So it just means that right now you have left £210,000 as a deposit on a £3 million valued block of flats. So really you're looking at almost 15% deposit that you've left in, a bit less than that. So right now you've left in about 200,000, but in the next segment, I'm going to talk about, well, what do you get? What kind of return on investment did you get on those 210,000 that you leave, and how long do you need to leave it in before you can recycle that money back out again?